Hi, Ann Marie, and welcome to Say Yes to You. It's so great to be connecting with you here. Ann Marie Lax from spiritdancer.com. That's your website, isn't it? Have I got it right? Spiritdancer.com.
It's spiritdancermusic.com.
Spirit Dancer Music. You see, the music had to get in there somewhere. You've created one beautiful album called Dancing in the Light, and you're creating another album right now. And all of your music has an intention to inspire people to tap into their own divinity, really, and their own spirituality. And thank you for being here.
All right. Well, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, it's good to be conversing with you. Where are you based? Where are you living?
I live in New Mexico, and so I live just outside of Albuquerque in a very small town called Edgewood in the mountains.
Oh, beautiful. And I'm here in Brighton by the sea.
Nice.
So mountains and sea. Great combination. So Ann Marie, we met really through my radio show. You really kindly sent me in your music, and which I've been playing on my radio show that I have here in Burgess Hill, on Burgess Hill Radio. And I love playing the songs. They're very meaningful, and your voice has great depth to it. And I'm just really interested when it was for you that you knew that you loved singing. When was that for you?
I was a really little girl, because I used to walk to school, and it was I don't know, maybe half a mile or maybe a little more, but I would make up little songs, I love you and you love me and we'll marry and we'll make three, and stuff, just simple stuff like that. But I never was trained in any type of music, and I never had any I never had voice lessons. I never had any kind of instrument lessons or anything like that. So I think it was probably 12 or so when I was at like a camp out with my mom, and we were singing. People were singing songs around the campfire, and we were singing like John Denver songs, who was kind of like my first love. And I just started belting it out, and people were looking at me in amazement. It's like, where did you get that voice? And I was like, wow, just that kind of, I was like, wow, I really like doing this, because, the attention and the recognition and stuff. And so I started singing when I went to high school. I was in high school choir. I was in the church choir. I would sing. They would regularly ask me to sing solos at church. But for a long time, I just kind of put that on the back burner. I didn't really pursue it. I didn't, I could sing, but I thought, well, I'm not really a musician. I can't play any instruments or anything. So it wasn't until I was approaching my 50th birthday when somebody handed me
your 50th birthday. Oh my word. How old are you? How young are you? No, you don't have to say how young you are, but
this is I'll be 58 in a couple of weeks.
Wow.
So. Yeah. So
wow. And that was a long wait between then being, in your childhood, and then kind of waiting all that time.
Because you work and you raise kids, you have a family, and you do all that stuff that's there, and you just kind of you forget about the love that you have inside. But somebody handed me a CD of a singer-songwriter called Carrie Newcomer, and says, I think you ought to listen to her, because you sound a lot like her. I'm like, okay, great. And the songs that she was singing about were things that touched my heart, and I was like, this is what I want to do. And so I was singing in a band at church, and so we started doing covers of her songs, and I was like, oh, and lo and behold, she came to New Mexico at a place called Ghost Ranch up in northern New Mexico to teach a songwriting workshop. I was like, I had no thought or interest any of ever of writing songs, but I wanted to meet her
Right.
in the worst way, and so, or in the best way, I guess. And so I took the workshop, and it was like, it opened up like a whole world for me. And these songs just started pouring out of me.
What
And
happened? Did you
write them down.
was the workshop about you writing? Did it kind of open up an expression that you just held in there for all these years?
Exactly. That's
Wow.
what it did. And I had a friend that kind of helped me channel, because, actually, the first songs that you write are not the best or whatever, but she sort of helped me refine some of them. And it would be better if you said it this way. And so kind of before I knew it, lo and behold, I was recording an album. My first intention was just to record a few songs to send to the Empower Posse Music Awards.
Okay.
And so I recorded a few songs to send that. Well, none of them actually made it, but that's okay. I kind of met more people all along the way, and eventually recorded an album, and eventually did win a Posse Award for my video on Choose Love, which you can see on YouTube.
Yeah.
So it won Best Video for 2015.
Oh, wow. So that must have, how did you feel at that moment when, looking back at kind of stuffing it in and not shining it out, and then suddenly there you are winning a Posse Award?
Well, it was so incredibly validating that I was on the right path, and this is what I was supposed to do. So that's kind of how it started. And now I've started recording my next album. I still have a long way to go, but I'm hoping maybe by next year to have something, because right now I'm still writing songs. I'm still refining them so I can put them on the next album. And
So let me ask you, your first album, what was your, did you play any instruments? Do you play instruments now, or purely vocals?
I do play the guitar. Maybe not as well as I would like. So on my first album, I didn't play any instruments on the album. It's just my vocals and a lot of friends and other local phenomenal musicians that just agreed to play on it, and it just came out
amazing, really
well. I had several nominations for songs for the New Mexico Music Awards. So that's.
And isn't it incredible how when you're on your path and you're in that flow, that what you need and want just comes and it all fits together in that moment?
That's exactly it. And that's what one of my songs is about. It's dancing in the light. And it's what that means. Dancing in the light means you're in that flow, and things are just coming to you. And I truly believe that.
So what is your inspiration for your next album, the album you're working on now, the songs?
Oh gosh, I have so many inspirations and if you listen to my first album, people say, oh, wow, you have a lot of different genres in there. And and I kind of do, because I can't really be tied down to, your country or your folk or your rock or your blues or whatever. On my first album, I have a jazz song, which I don't do jazz, but somebody suggested, I think this should be a bossa nova, and so we kind of went with it, and it's called Coming Home, and it's I mean, the message is there. I'm all about the lyrics and the message.
So what is your inspiration for the message, and where does that come from for you and your own personal journey?
Well, in my personal journey, when I was 9 years old, my family joined the Science of Mind church that was only a couple blocks from my house. Okay. So this was the first church of religious science. And so I grew, and so from 9 on, I was in the youth group. I went to the conferences that they had
Right.
pretty regularly. And my goal at that time, from a young age, from probably early teens maybe, was to be a minister. And so when I went to college, that was still my goal. I was going to ministerial school, so I took religious studies classes and world religions and speech classes and and philosophy and all of that stuff in order to prepare me to go to ministerial school. That was what my goal was. Well, along the way, then the church I was at had a split because there was a married couple that were ministers, and they wanted to only keep and hire one of the ministers and not the other one.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of split the church, basically. So we went with the one that didn't get chose to remain at the church. And from then on, it was kind of like, dude, wow, I couldn't believe how really nasty people could be that were supposed to be so religious. And so I thought, I don't think I want to do this anymore. So I chose. And so for a long time, I didn't go to any organized religion. I was kind of doing it my own. I sort of was drawn to Wicca, and I was doing that for a while. And then when my mom died, a teacher of my kids at school, he was a Unity minister, so I asked him if he would do the memorial service for my mom. And so the week after the service, I went to his church, and that happened to be Mother's Day, and just pretty much bawled throughout the whole entire service.
Yeah.
And it was like, I found a home. And so I was involved in that church for, up until last year, when it finally ended because we were down to such a small amount of people. We just decided to close it. But all of that philosophy and the unity, and because we were so small, our minister left maybe 8-10 years ago, and so we were all taking turns doing the Sunday morning lesson. And so
I'm not interrupting you, but that's amazing, because you planted that seed that you wanted to be a minister.
Yeah.
And here you are doing it without doing the formal route, and you're there. It's the power of thought.
I didn't have the title of being a minister, but I was actually doing that.
You had the consciousness.
Yeah, so I incorporated that anyway. Long story roundabout, I incorporated my beliefs and thoughts and feelings into my music, and that's also my ministry, is that to get that out there. I also have a Facebook page. It's my music Facebook page, which just this week has gone kind of viral because people like the message that I'm putting out.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're joining the Facebook page, they're commenting, they're sharing all that stuff, and I'm thinking, that's my ministry too, to encourage people to believe that they're more than who they think they are, especially women. I think primarily my audience is women, but a lot of men kind of resonate with that message too. So
amazing. So you're right where you're right where you are. It feels like you've come full circle.
Yeah, but I'm going forward. I am full circle, but my circle is actually a spiral. It's continuing to go up.
Yeah, of course. So I'm interested because you run a couple of groups as well, don't you? I mean, they're not just groups, communities, I would say. You kind of bringing together women songwriters, and what first of all, let's talk about that, and what your reason was for doing that, and what it is you actually do in your songwriting community.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
So I'm a member of the Female Musician Academy, which is run by Bree Noble, and it's online. And so it's a great community of support for female musicians. And one time we were talking about it, and I was like, I really need some, oh, how can I put this? A kick in the butt, I guess, to get me to write songs more and do that. And we all started, yeah, that would be great if we had a community, and but nobody seemed to want to do it. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'll do it, I guess. You know, I'm not doing enough apparently.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I started the female songwriters group on Facebook. It's a private group, but it's for members of the Female Musician Academy. Although we have kicked around the idea of asking other people that are not in the Female Musician Academy to join, just to kind of extend it a little bit or expand it, I guess. So anyway, been doing that for almost a year now. It'll be a year in September 1st. And we do it quarterly. So people join up for the quarter. And every 2 weeks, I send out the prompts, and they could be different things. It could be an idea. It could be a set of words that you use.
Okay.
So you have a week to write your song, to record it and upload it. And then the rest of the people that are in your group have another week to basically give you feedback on that song.
Ah, okay. So this is connected to the Female Musician Academy. Someone must be in that community, and then this is like a split off group that
Right.
women can join.
Yeah.
And so it's like a support group and a feedback group, all one in one, a creative support group where you're creating a song and getting feedback on it, positive feedback.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, what a great idea. And do you hear everything that goes backwards and forwards?
Not well, there's at the moment there's probably 12 in the group, and so I simply don't have time to listen to every person's song, although I do try. But right now there's I have it separated into, you have a group of 3 or 4 people, and so people are only required to listen to the 3 or 4 people that are in your immediate group. Because I also wanted to be, sensitive to other people's time and whatever. And when I first started, we had over 20 people, and I thought, I don't have time to listen to 20 people's songs. And even though I would like to, I'm sure other people don't either. So I wanted to make it just easy enough for people to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So.
And do you find, is it the same people joining all the time, or do you have different people coming and going?
I have a core group of the same songwriters, but there are people that do come and go, and it's, especially during the summer. So this quarter in the summer, it's like a lot of people have stuff to do. So
yeah.
But yeah. So I do get more people. Like last fall is when we started, and I had a whole lot more people in the fall and winter. So.
And do you find that women that join actually then go on to record what they're creating with you? Like they're taking it even further and recording it?
Yeah, some of them they do. It's like, oh, this is a song that I wrote in the songwriting group, and so and they go on to record it. So yeah, several of them do that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And I'll probably do the same, because I have several songs that I haven't recorded them yet, except for what I've just given a sketch, and I've uploaded to SoundCloud.
Okay.
Just for people to, the people in the group to be able to listen to. But once once I refine it and then I'm ready to record it, I'm sure several of these songs will get put on my next album.
Yeah. And then can anybody join the original group, Female Musician Academy? Is this a free group to join?
It's not a free group. I'm not sure what the cost is. I know that I joined at the very beginning, and I don't know what it is. It's like $30 a month or something like that. It may be more now just because I've been a member for so long. But but saying that though, Bree Noble also has another group that's called, I may have to look it up, but it's something about the female indie musician group. Anyway, it's on Facebook as well, but people can join that, and that one is free. So anybody,
okay.
but it is for females.
So that's the only way people can find you and be in a group with you is through this academy. That's what I'm trying to get to.
Okay, I tell you what, if I have enough demand, I think and I had enough people that wanted that would make it worth the while, I think I would have maybe an alternate group of maybe not even female musicians, but any kind of songwriters that want
opening it up.
Yeah.
Incredible. So here you are kind of steering others into expressing themselves and letting that creativity come out and through. That must feel you must feel great.
Well, it's like I said, it's kind of all part of the ministry. I kind of feel, even though it does help me in a way, because it's helping me write songs myself, but it's part of the ministry that I'm helping other people, giving them the space to write their songs.
Yeah, and to be themselves and express themselves. Yeah. And so it's really interesting because, I'm a Science of Mind practitioner and in ministerial school now. And I'm just wondering what it is about the teaching and the philosophy that really resonates with you.
Oh gosh, it's that we're each spirit, and we're spirit in action, on this earth, basically, and that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
I've been listening to, I have a Audible book, and I'm listening to Mary Magdalene Revealed on Audible, and that's kind of like that's what her gospel is about, and so I'm just amazed that I had never heard of. I mean, I had heard of it before, but I've never read the Gospel of Mary Magdalene.
No.
So, and then that's what it's about.
Yeah.
It's kind of I kind of attract the stuff that validates, what I believe. So it's like, wow, okay. And so I try to get other people to believe in themselves and to believe in their authenticity and creativity, and that's what I'm trying to do.
And that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you're doing. And that for me, that Science of Mind, as it reveals itself more and more through me, and as I'm studying more and being more of the principles, it's this amazing knowing that we are one, and that what we are thinking and feeling is so powerful and can really have a beautiful effect create a beautiful effect for our lives and for others. And that, for me, that just is such a freeing, it's freedom. It's a sense of freedom that we each have this power within us to be able to create the foundation of how we want to live our lives, from what place we want to come from, to how we want to experience life. And I don't mean just materially, at all, but that the feelings that we want to evoke and live from. It's very powerful, isn't it?
It is very powerful. And, and hopefully, I mean, ideally, those would all be positive experiences. However, some of them are not so positive, and
Yeah.
those are the ones that have helped me grow the most.
Yeah, that's true.
Both
Yeah.
personally and spiritually, but also in my songwriting, because, sometimes those kind of experiences are the greatest inspiration to write songs from.
That's
so.
right. Yeah, to put pen to paper, to open the heart and just get it out and express it. It's such a good teacher, isn't it, for songwriting? I don't think songwriting comes through, good songwriting comes from life experience and the pain and the feeling of the whole experience.
Oh, exactly.
Definitely, yeah. And when I listen to songs on your album, Road to Damascus, I think, is one of them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That really, I felt really with you in that song. Very, like, there's an opening there that you're experiencing, and it's there in the song. I really feel it. It's very vibrationally, it's very awake and alive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Road to Damascus is about my personal spiritual journey, and,
Yeah.
and I mean, it points back to Paul and how he found his spiritual awakening on the road to Damascus. But it's really not about Paul. It's about all of us and
Mm-hmm.
all of our spiritual awakening, and that it's about love. The greatest gift is love. And so I borrowed from, I think it's First Corinthians. I borrowed some of the wording and stuff from him, but it really speaks to, we're all on this journey.
Yeah, on this adventure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, for me it was in my first album, it was the Labyrinth. The Labyrinth, well, the Labyrinth was what opened my heart, walking that labyrinth, opening my heart and connecting in a real experience that I couldn't talk about for so long, and yet then this song came through. And it's
funny how that does, right?
Oh, just incredible.
When songs have to be born, they come out, and it kind of doesn't matter what you do. They just have to come out. So
yeah, and also it doesn't matter what the outcome of the song is, because there's no judgment on whether, sometimes I listen to that song now, I don't know if you do with your songs, listen to them and think, oh, actually I don't really like it, or it doesn't, I could have done better with my voice, or I feel so like out of tune with that note, and start to be critical of. And then this other part of me, the bigger part, the higher self, that I know, well, it's okay. It's how it was in that moment, and it was my experience and feeling, and it's not to be judged, because it's very easy to criticize, isn't it, what we record?
Yeah,
it can be.
It can be, because because you think, oh well, I really didn't know what it was my first album. I really didn't know what I was doing. And now I know so much more, and now I do it so much differently. And
Yes.
It's all part of growth. And my next album may not sound at all like my first one did, and that's okay, because I'm growing. So
that's it. Yeah. And that's your growth and your learning and new ways of doing things, new ways of expressing it in the notes. And that's that. I would really, for me personally, I'd think I really want each album to have that defined knowing of in me that there's like a leap somewhere, that it's changed and it's different. because I'm different to when, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I know different, like you're different now. Your whole experience of life is different. So the music can change with that, can't it? And we pick up different ways and hear different things and get inspired. And, I'm sure for you, your musicians have changed and shifted.
Well, I'm sure they will, because the ones that I used for the first album, who knows if they'll still be available for the second album, or maybe I've met somebody new that, that I want. I'm working on a song right now. I haven't recorded it yet, but I'm getting it in the process of ready to record.
Yeah.
And it's called Dust Devil. And
Dust Devil.
Devil. Do you know what a dust devil is?
No, what's a dust devil? Sounds like a vacuum cleaner, like a Hoover.
Right. So a dust devil here, well, I guess people all over the United States have heard of it, but especially here in the Southwest, it's kind of like a mini tornado that it's not. I mean, you're really not supposed to be destructive. It's like when the wind currents just kind of start swirling, and it picks up some dust, and they sort of swirl around. So we used to see them on the playground all the time, and aren't they cute, whatever, and that's it. Well, last year I was driving to a friend's memorial service, and I was driving down over on the west side of Albuquerque, and my car got hit by this massive dust devil, and it blew out 2 of my windows. And needless to say, I didn't end up going to the memorial service.
Were you in the car?
I was in the car, driving the car.
Oh, it was moving.
It was moving, and it sucked out.
Oh my gosh.
It shattered completely one window, so I couldn't even see. And the other one, it sucked it out. And I was like, wow, so anyway, well, I had to get the windows replaced, obviously, but I did get a song out of the experience.
Yeah.
I can't say that it's not necessarily a spiritual song, like so many of my other ones are, but it's so anyway, it's kind of a rock song. And so I'm working on that now, and I'm looking for someone to help me out to play that one. So I think I found the person, and what I'm trying to do is get it ready to record, or just a scratch recording, so I can give it to the guitar player that I want to play it, so that he can get some kind of idea of how it should go.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a whole process, isn't it, songwriting? It's not just like, oh, let's just write this down and then let's just record it. It's like a whole process.
It takes a long time. Yeah, my studio guy says, are you ever going to get back here into the studio? I'm like, yes, I'm trying. I have several songs that I'm working on, and yeah, so.
Amazing. So I saw on I think it was on Facebook, something else came up of yours, which is a coffee house.
Oh, yeah.
Coffee house. What is that?
Okay. So I live out here in Edgewood, New Mexico, which is about 25 miles out on the east of Albuquerque. And so it's kind of it's in a rural area. It's in the country. And so about 5 years ago, in my Unity church, I was talking. It's like, I really think that we should have a venue for people to come and we could do like open mics, or musicians could come to perform, or whatever. And so as a group, we started this coffee house. It's called the Second Saturday Community Coffee House. And it's once a month on the second Saturday of the month. And twice a month in June and December, we have open mics that anybody can come and do their 2 or 3 songs or whatever for their set and perform. And then, but the rest of the year, once a month, we have musicians, mostly local, but sometimes we have like nationally touring musicians that come and perform. And we had one last night. Greg Johns came and performed, and it was awesome. And it's really been quite fun. So it really gives
Wow.
it gives us space for people to come and perform. So I can't say that I run it. I don't run it entirely. I mean, we do have several volunteers that do stuff with it. Eugene does the sound, and we have other people that put up the posters, and we have another one that he helps me with. I helps me with doing the marketing and doing all of that stuff. So we have quite a dedicated group of volunteers that help do that. My daughter runs the kitchen, and
right.
So.
And as you're explaining all this, I'm just getting this real image of you as someone that is really devoted to not only your own expression, but to enabling others to express themselves.
Well, thank you, because I think that I'm trying to do that too.
Yeah, no, I just feel that with what you're with the online, with your group online, and with what you're doing with this, it's about and even being there on every Sunday or in your Unity Church, that you're stepping into your ministry, even though it might not be that you've formally educated yourself, but you're in that role of being there to show others the way that they can really express themselves through music. And it's really powerful. It's beautiful.
Well, thank you for recognizing that. I appreciate it.
I really do. Yeah.
And and I enjoy doing it. I guess I feel compelled to do it. It's something that I think I have to do in order to, it's kind of a soul adventure or experience or whatever. It's just something that I need to do. So.
And it's very powerful, isn't it, to know thyself and to actually honor that, because so often that's like a two-step experience or unraveling, isn't it? First of all, to know who we are and to really be honest with who we are and what we're here for, and to honor that, and then to actually take that and go and do it, and not put a block there and say, right, well, I know it, but actually now I'm going to do it and be it. And
well, a lot of that is fear. People have, well, what will they think of me, or what are they going to say, or whatever. And I've gotten to the point where I ignore all that, because it's taken me a long time to kind of become who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to, at this point, I'm not going to allow anybody or anything to stop me.
Yeah.
That's kind of what the message is that I have for. It's like, what are your dreams and what are your goals? And 10 years ago, I never would have even imagined like that I would have produced an album and got it out there, and who would have known? Who would have thought? So so it's just so amazing to me that when you start believing in your dreams and your goals, but not even believing, but taking action.
Taking action.
That's what it takes, because you have to stop the fear in its tracks and say,
yeah,
I don't care that because I used to have terrible stage fright of standing up there and singing.
Really? And so was that in the space of when you, like in that time where you weren't, you weren't recognizing yourself up until the age of 50, that time where I don't know what was going on in your life, but you were doing other things. Things. So what was it that then shook you? There must have been a moment that was like, oh my God, this is what I'm here for. Why I want to do this and honor it.
Yeah. Well, I had such love for the music, and I had such love for singing, even though I was pretty much only singing, with myself to the songs on the radio and whatever. At that Unity Church, there was we formed a band, and I'd get up there, and at first it was kind of like, oh, I'm not good enough to sing or whatever, but I'd get up there, and then they'd be like, wow, why haven't you done this before? And so the more I did it, the more confident I became, and the more I knew I could do it, and stuff. And so that really led into, hey, I want to record some of these songs and stuff. So, but you have to overcome that fear, and you have to check off the boxes. That's kind of what I like to say. It's like each experience was the first few times perfect? No.
Yeah.
And when I go out and play guitars, like occasionally, like at my coffee house, we have open mics, so I'll get up there and I'll play a few songs on my guitar. Is it perfect? No. But every time that I do that, I improve so that the next time is better, and then the next time after that is better. And so that's, you kind of have to say, fear's not in charge of me.
No. So it's really not acknowledging that and then letting it go and just continuing with what you need to do to take I think that's so powerful what you just said, taking action.
Yeah.
Taking action and not listening or not allowing that part of us that is like the little not allowing it to be
in religious prayer is called a spiritual mind treatment.
That's right.
It was when I was studying all of that, it's like treat and move your feet.
Yes.
So just pray, but get moving.
Get moving and do it.
Because you can't just sit there and expect things to drop into your lap. You have to get in there and do it.
Yeah, and that's where we're empowered, aren't we? That's where we're empowered, because even when we take the action, if it doesn't matter what the result is, it's the fact of taking the action and just going for it and telling life that we're ready and available.
Yeah. And the other thing is ask. If you don't ask, you don't get.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you want something, or you need somebody to do something for you, ask. You never know. They might say no, but then they also might say yes.
And why do you think that for women, because I think your work is geared towards, I mean, I know you're attracting men in now also to what you're doing with your songwriting, but in general, for women, why is it we have this difficulty in asking, this block?
I think it's just the way we were raised. A lot of us were raised that way. Oh, no, we can't, you can't ask somebody to do something. No, that's okay. I'll do it.
Oh yeah, that's the one. I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do it.
Just do it myself, all by myself. And
it's quicker and easier.
Yeah.
I can do it. Yeah.
No, the people have such talents, people that you don't even know, and hey, can you do this for me? And some people are thrilled to be asked. Some people were like, no, and okay, fine. Next, I'm checking off the box. Okay, next.
Okay.
But it's the same thing as asking spirit, and spirit, can you help me with this?
Mm-hmm.
I need some help with this. And I truly believe if you don't ask, you don't get.
Yeah. And when we're asking spirit, there's always an answer, isn't there?
There is. The answer is always yes.
Yeah. There's always an answer.
You may not like the answer.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Always yes.
Yeah. So your inspiration, or you're inspiring others to really get on. I mean, this is perfect because this is called Say Yes to You, which is is really about what you're doing. You're inspiring people to say yes to themselves. And you must get to that point where you hear women and are saying, well, I can't, I'm not good enough, and how can I record that, and how can I, what would you say to those? What do you say when there's that kind of dialogue going on and you can hear it in somebody?
Oh, yeah. You are you have this voice, and you're the only one that can speak or sing this voice.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're given this voice for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And right, just putting it off or putting it down is not helping any. And it's not rejoicing in spirit. Basically, you're ignoring or avoiding the gifts that God gave you.
Yeah.
That's kind of what my song Coming Home is about. It's kind of like I avoided this, or I ran away from the gifts that you gave me, were squandered and ignored.
Yeah.
Kind of like the prodigal child. You gave me this stuff, these gifts, you gave me this voice, and I ignored it. And that to me is a sacrilege, because here God says, look, I've given you this, for you to use.
Mm-hmm.
And if you squander it or ignore it, you're not being the soul that I've made you to be. So
Yeah.
that's what I believe.
Yeah, and that's so self-destructive, and it's not an act of self-love at all, is it?
No. And you do have to love yourself, because you are God. So
Yeah.
you to acknowledge that and express that. And I believe that's why we're here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I love it that you know that so definitely, and you know that it is about singing, and it goes right back to your childhood when you knew that you discovered that within yourself. And even though that there was a space and years went by when you were doing other things, and you still have come home to your truth.
Yeah, I believe that everybody has that. Maybe mine happens to be singing and music. Maybe to somebody else it's it's painting, or it's sculpting, or it's whatever it is that you have a passion about. That's your gift, and that's what you should be doing.
Yes. And then we're living fully, aren't we? We're fully embodying our lives and loving ourselves fully, which is what we're here for.
Exactly.
Amazing. So your website, I love you kind of swirling around in your, there in New Mexico as the backdrop. Yeah. Is that an inspiration for you to live where you?
Well, yeah, I love New Mexico. It's such a beautiful place. And so pretty much every day there's something to just the scenery and the nature and whatever. Every day there's something to inspire. And the photographer that took that picture was just like, oh, let's go do it in this location. It was it was so beautiful, and so yeah.
Amazing.
Really.
Are you going to be at the Posse Awards next year? Do you go to the Posse Awards?
I went 3 years ago when I won the award. I don't go generally. If I enter something into the Posse Awards,
then you go.
I would go if I'm nominated for that. I don't go as a general, of course, because it is in Florida, which is kind of a distance from me. So, but I would definitely be interested in going back, because the one I went to was just so much fun.
Yeah, I haven't been, but I'm working on it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So much incredible talent there.
I can imagine.
But
so
I don't have any. Done so much traveling, especially this year. I've done so much traveling this year that I kind of have to plan my travels in advance. So
yeah. And that's the thing, the States is so big, isn't it? So it's easy, you know, to get from A to B, it's like, whew, you need to really get on a plane for a few hours to get there.
It's a 3.5 hour plane flight to Florida, where that the Posse Awards
Where
are.
it is. Me and Debbie Schroet wrote a song, and Jason has played on it as well. So we've
Cool.
created this really beautiful song that we recorded. So we were saying, yes, we're going to enter it next year.
Oh, that's
For
great.
the Pauses, and see what happens there. I'm not too sure if I'll get there physically. Who knows? but the song will. The song will get there.
Yeah, that's neat.
Which will be exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, I made eventually. Well, when I get more of the album recorded, then I'll definitely submit some more songs to the Pauses.
Oh yeah, and send them over to me because I want to play them on the radio.
Okay, well I'll do that. Right now they're only partially done. So, but I've started to record 2 songs, and they're partially done. So
amazing. Wow, Ann Marie, thank you so much for being here and being present and sharing your light, dancing in the light,
yeah,
sitting in the light. So I always ask this question, which I think you've answered anyway, but maybe if you could just kind of put it into like a one or few words, you know, for somebody that may be on the brink, that's listening to this now and listening to you and feeling inspired by you, and they may be feeling, that's me, I'm feeling that, I've got this inside of me, and I've got this fear, or I don't really know how to express it or what to do. And if you could kind of drop into shine your light onto their lap, what would you say to that person right now to inspire them?
You know, I have a song called Never Too Late. And it goes something like, it's never too late to start to live your dreams. It's not a trick of fate or as crazy as it seems. Life's a joyous ride and much too short to wait. And I can't remember the rest of it, but it's never too late. So it doesn't matter where you are at in life, what your circumstances are. It's really, it's never too late. And you start now, because the time's going to pass anyway. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. That is so true. I'm going to listen to that song now.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Thank you, Ann Marie.
Okay, thank you, Laura.
Thank you. It's a real joy to connect with you here, and I hope we'll do it again. You'll come back on the radio show.
Yeah, I sure will.
Yeah. So it's Spirit Dancer Music, and your music is on there, isn't it, to be downloaded?
Yeah,
from your website.
My music is on the website. If you want to order a physical album from me, I'd be happy to send you one. You can do that through the website.
Right.
I have a Facebook page, which is also, it's Ann Marie Spirit Dancer Music. I'm on Instagram. I have albums on iTunes.
What's your Amazon. Instagram page? What's your Instagram?
I think it's Spirit Dancer Music.
Oh, I'm gonna link in with you.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, it's Spirit Dancer Music.
Okay. Great.
All right. Well, thanks, Laura.
Thank you from my heart.
You.
Oh yeah. Bye.
Yeah.